We have to hurry to Canaan. The purification process is reaching its limit.
Don't push yourself too hard, Milla.
As if having to battle Kronos wasn't bad enough, you've spent a great deal of time trapped in the dimensional abyss.
And do you think I'll listen when you tell me to take it easy?
Ah, well.
No, of course not.
That is correct. This is no time to falter. And besides, you promised Elle. Not to mention the other me.
How strong is Kronos?
After taking physical form in the human realm, I set about searching for Kronos.
And you managed to find him, I gather?
No. He must have sensed my manifestation. And he found me. It took him no more than an instant to hurl me into the dimensional abyss.
That must have been just before we all met him.
There's no way to fathom how deep his powers go. But I can tell you this much. Of the three original spirits, Kronos' power is the strongest and most primal. More so than my own.
He commands a power more primal than the elements that compose our universe?
He is a terrible foe. But if he stands between us and the land of Canaan, a confrontation will be unavoidable. We have to hurry to Canaan. The purification process is reaching its limit.
Don't push yourself too hard, Milla.
As if having to battle Kronos wasn't bad enough, you've spent a great deal of time trapped in the dimensional abyss.
And do you think I'll listen when you tell me to take it easy?
Ah, well.
No, of course not.
That is correct. This is no time to falter. And besides, you promised Elle. Not to mention the other me.
You know about the other Milla who was with us?
I do. I saw everything.
How could you? I thought you were trapped in the dimensional abyss.
I was. I tried using the power of the Four to return to the Prime Dimension, but couldn't.
Because the other Milla had come to the Prime Dimension.
The abyss between dimensions is a void of nothingness, bereft even of the elements. I could only drift through it using the power of the Four to protect myself. While in that coma-like state, I dreamt of Ludger, the other Milla, and all of you. It was as if I was journeying right along with you.
How is that even possible?
I do not know myself, but her conflict and her wish came through quite clearly. Ludger, everyone, I want you to lend your strength to me. Or should I say, to Milla Maxwell.
You couldn't stop us from helping even if you tried.
Our strength is yours to command.
So, you used to be Driselle's stewer, Rowan? What kind of stews did you make?
Stewer? Is that even a word?
I wasn't her stewer. I was her steward.
Oh, I know that word. It's like a handmaid, right?
Steward...
Steward is another word for butler. I served Lady Driselle, the Lord of Sherrilton.
A steward wears a pinafore dress and white gloves and prances around with a feather duster.
Huh? Rowan wears dresses?
Now, Elle. The human heart is extremely complex. You need to keep an open mind.
Wait, what?
It's quite a relief to hear you say that. At first, Lady Driselle had to force me to wear the dress, but when I saw my reflection, I was stunned by my beauty. On that day, I was truly born anew.
Huh?
Ah, come now, Ludger. Don't think too hard on such playful banter.
So, you used to be Driselle's stewer, Rowan? What kind of stews did you make?
Stewer? Is that even a word?
I wasn't her stewer. I was her steward.
Oh, I know that word. It's like a handmaid, right?
Steward...
Steward is another word for butler. I served Lady Driselle, the Lord of Sherrilton.
A rich, elegant lady. That's every man's dream.
Why, Ludger, I had no idea.
My daddy always said I'm a beautiful young lady, too.
Ludger, what do you think of Driselle? I could try and set you up with her.
Huh?
Don't be shy now. You two are the same age, after all.
Wait just a moment. Any prospective suitor of my Lady Driselle must complete my extensive screening process. First, you'll need to pass the 256 tests I've prepared for any aspirant to her hand.
Don't be so strict. I'll be vouching for him.
Then you'll need to be evaluated as a would-be matchmaker. There are 180 requirements, but you can pass with a score of 170 or above.
But I am the Lord of Spirits. Must I be tested so?
Of course. Lady Driselle is my greatest treasure, bequeathed to me by Lord Klein himself. She means more to me than life itself.
Wow, you sound just like my daddy, Rowan. Hey, Jude. What was that weird animal thing? Jude? Hello? What's his deal?
Milla, could you do something?
Very well. Jude,
Huh? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about something.
you should stop. That line of thought won't lead you to the answers you seek.
Huh? What did you think I was thinking about?
About whether the profusion of spyrites was connected to your murder.
Yeah.
If they're unrelated, then that's that. Even if they are, that's a path you mustn't choose.
But what if it's my death that leads to Spyrites replacing Spyrix technology?
Don't talk like that. Sure, it would be cute to have those weird little things everywhere, but I'd rather have you.
Do you understand now why you can't choose that option?
Because I need to be around to bring about the future we all yearn for. Because you won't be there to do it yourself.
Hey, Jude. What was that weird animal thing? Jude? Hello? What's his deal?
What? Why are you suddenly doing backflips?
Because you were spacing out.
Sorry about that. I was just thinking about those Spyrites.
That's what you wanted to make all along, right? So, good job?
That's true, but I can't help but wonder if their development might be connected to, you know.
Can't you just be happy like a normal person? I don't like seeing you moping around like this. It reminds me of Milla.
You're absolutely right, Elle. After all, now I know success is possible. I should be happy about that.
Exactly. Kind of like... On second thought, I'll think of a different example.
Well done, Mr. Kresnik. I have a message for you from President Bakor. I want to meet the real Maxwell. Bring her to Spirius. End quote. Please follow through at your earliest convenience.
All anyone cares about is the stupid Maxwell, Milla.
I'm sorry.
Drellin's so full of restaurants. The entire city smelled fantastic. Just thinking about it makes my stomach growl.
Really? At a time like this? Clearly all that time in the Abyss did nothing to steady your metabolism.
Oh, food is the fundamental building block of life, Jude. And you can't fight on an empty stomach.
Everyone's talking about food, and now I'm hungry.
As am I. When do you imagine we'll be eating?
Your cooking has them all eating out of your hand, Ludger.
Indeed. Although I understand that Elle's father is quite the cook in his own right.
He sure is. He's the best cook I've ever met in my life.
Defeating Ludger in the kitchen is no easy feat. I hope I get the opportunity to try his cooking one day.
Well, if you're that eager, when I see him again, I'll ask him for you. Maybe he'll take pity on everyone and cook for all of you.
I certainly hope he does.
Oh, that would be most generous of him.
Slaves to your appetites, the whole lot of you.
Elle's becoming a divergence catalyst? I don't understand how this could happen.
According to Victor, becoming a divergence catalyst is the price for using the clan's power beyond a certain limit.
If Elle is the daughter of Ludger from a fractured dimension, that would make her part of the Kresnik family. But she doesn't even seem to have access to Chromatus powers.
Jude, you started to say something about this earlier. Do you remember what that was?
I do. The pocket watch is the key to manifesting the Chromatus, right? But when Ludger first transformed into his Chromatus, it was Elle that was holding the watch.
So Ludger has been using Elle as a conduit for his power.
Do you remember how Ludger couldn't transform into his Chromatus when we first met the other Milla?
That's because Elle wasn't with us then.
So then Elle has been paying the price for Ludger's use of the power.
But it goes without saying that Ludger had no way of knowing this.
Still.
There was no way for any of us to know of this.
I'm sorry, Ludger.
There's no need to apologize. Who could have possibly guessed that the Chromatus was linked to the catalysts like this?
Elle, dear, are you feeling okay?
I'm fine. Nothing matters anymore anyway.
Ludger, how's the burn on your left hand?
It's Elle we should be worrying about.
I understand exactly how Elle feels. I've been there myself. Everything I'd done had been rendered meaningless. And convinced of that, I began lashing out at the people who were important to me.
You're speaking of when Milla died on the Zenithra.
Yeah. Leia was worried sick and trying to take care of me. And I threw the food she made for me against the wall.
I had no idea.
I figured Leia wouldn't say anything. I was awful to her. But she persisted in trying to take care of me. And that's the only reason I recovered at all. So please, keep looking after Elle. Do everything you can.
Okay.
Elle, dear, are you feeling okay?
I'm fine. Nothing matters anymore anyway.
Ludger, how's the burn on your left hand?
It's fine. Call it karma for doing the same thing to Julius way back when.
The same thing? You knocked a pot of soup onto Julius?
Is that why he continually wears a glove? To hide the scar from the burn? I imagine that must have pained you across the years.
Yeah.
I can only guess that Elle must be feeling the same way about hurting you. When you're close with someone, conflicts are bound to occur, but rarely are they strong enough to break the bonds you share.
You're right. That's what a family is.
Profound advice from a man who still can't claim a family of his own, even at this old age.
It may not be too late. Why not start one now?
A tempting invitation, but one I'm afraid I must decline. You all have given me as wonderful a family as I could ever have hoped for. And of course, I include you in that, Ludger, as well as Elle.